on SU News. Elections in Boston and around Suffolk. Then, a sign of peace to set a record. And a taste of Boston bites. It's all coming up on SU News.
The story starts here, in the heart of the city.
We've been following this story since it first broke.
Everybody's waiting to find out what's next.
It's an issue for residents here and around Boston.
Now, the city is buzzing.
It's a story you first saw on SU News.
It's the talk of the town.
It's all coming up on SU News.
Welcome to SU News, the weekly news program brought to you by the Communication and Journalism Department at Suffolk University. I'm Olivia Ladon.
And I'm Brandon Hyde. We start today with the latest controversy to rock the NFL, kneeling during the national anthem. We have team coverage starting with the president's response to the matter. Here's SU News reporter Mary Boucher.
Last Friday, President Donald Trump held a rally in Alabama and seemingly called for the firing of NFL players who kneel during the national anthem. His statement about kneeling in protest to police brutality stirred up an already sensitive topic and has provoked a national conversation about when, where, and how to appropriately protest. I went around Boston to ask people what they think.
So I think protests, by definition, should disrupt the norm and should be uncomfortable to make us have these conversations. So while it may be controversial to protest during the national anthem, I think doing it on such a large stage actually brings about change more and is more likely to start the conversation and bring about change the way that the players who are protesting would like to.
I don't think that it's offensive to take your knee because everybody has your right of opinion and expression.
This is not the first time we have seen athletes using their platform to protest injustice. During the 1968 Olympics in Mexico, Black athletes protested the national anthem by raising their fists. Today, professional athletes are exercising their First Amendment rights by kneeling during the national anthem.
I think they have the right to protest, and I don't think Donald Trump has the right to tell people what to do. He's not a dictator, and if you want to take a knee at, when they're saluting the flag or stand, I think you have the right to do either one.
You have veterans that have approved of it. They say that this is what they fight for.
President Trump continued to repeat his sentiment when he took to Twitter Sunday, again saying players who don't stand for the national anthem should be fired or suspended for doing so.
Players have the right to protest. It's one of the beautiful things about our nations is that you can express yourself. But I think doing it on such a public forum when the fans, for the most part, want to see you and expect you to conform in a situation like that, personally feel like it's not the right time and place.
It bothers me that people don't know why they're doing it. Like, people be like, oh, it's like an anti-Trump thing. It's like anti-America, like the flag, and like they're doing it to be disrespectful, which they're not. They're doing it as a protest against like how blacks are treated in America, especially with police violence and everything. So if you want to protest that, that's why they're doing it. That's what makes sense. But I get people kneeling, I get people not kneeling. The worst part is people like not being educated on why it's happening.
On Thursday, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell held a secret meeting with players, coaches, and owners about the controversy. And during Thursday night's NFL game, members of the Packers and the Bears locked arms in unity, but did not kneel before the national anthem. For SU News, I'm Mary Boucher.
And now the kneeling controversy hitting close to home. Members of the New England Patriots also taking a knee. SU News reporter Jacob Toby has more.
It was a week of controversy throughout the NFL and especially for the New England Patriots. NFL protests are becoming more scrutinized and Patriots fans saw it firsthand on Sunday. It's President Donald Trump versus the NFL. The president speaking out last week about NFL players kneeling or raising fists during the national anthem. He took to Twitter, writing, "Sports fans should never condone players that do not stand proud for their national anthem or their country, and that the NFL should change their policy."
I think that this was an example of how strategic he really is. When people talk about how he seems to be crazy and just sort of makes this stuff up, no, he doesn't. He has a very good intuitive understanding of what his brand is and what his audience wants.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft responded to President Trump, saying that he was deeply disappointed by the tone of the comments made by the president and that he's proud to be associated with so many players who make such tremendous contributions and positively impacting our communities.
So I think it's cool, they have a voice and they have a platform, they can use it, so hopefully they continue to do it going forward and something gets done as a result.
League sources have told CSN-NE's Gary Tangway that the team intends to stand for the national anthem on Sunday versus the Carolina Panthers. Reporting in Boston, Jacob Toby, SU News.
The Jamaica Way Bridge has officially been renamed. This is in honor of the late sons of one of the heroes from the Boston Marathon bombings.
Carlos Arredondo was one of the heroes during the 2013 marathon bombings, but today he was here to honor his late sons Alexander and Brian.
Wow, being a member of this community, I've been very honored to be part of this event to honor my sons.
Alexander was a Marine, killed in Iraq in 2004, and Brian committed suicide in 2011.
It means so much, it represents so many. It's going to be a new name, the bridge, but this is a lot of many things behind these names, to honor and remember.
Both him and his wife credit their deaths in becoming anti-war activists and suicide prevention advocates.
Let him be example so that people can learn how to prevent suicide and keep this from happening to other families, which is what we're doing through the Arredondo Family Foundation.
And after a year of preparing for today's ceremony, his wife Melita was pleased with the outcome.
It's a great day, and I feel like it's a personal blessing that we have such a lovely day to be able to do this.
And Arredondo is most known for rescuing Jeff Bowman, a survivor who is now the subject in Jake Gyllenhaal's upcoming film, Stronger.
After this week's preliminary election, the race for the mayor of Boston is down to 2 candidates. With Mayor Marty Walsh in the lead to keep his job, SU News reporter Kelly Mitchell has more.
4 candidates faced off Tuesday in Boston's run for mayor, and I got a chance to talk to voters. Incumbent Mayor Marty Walsh won Tuesday's preliminary election, giving him momentum for a possible second term. Also advancing to the final ballot for mayor is Boston City Councilor Tito Jackson. One woman who came out for City Councilor Jackson says she cast a, quote, counterbalance vote.
But I want the pressure on Walsh to know that he doesn't have just free reign to shake hands with developers and do whatever he wants to the city.
Tito Jackson's supporters value his experience as chair of the Education Committee and his stances on income inequality. Others made the trip to Boston City Hall to keep Mayor Marty Walsh in office, like former congressman and current president of UMass, Marty Meehan.
Continue making the progress he's making. I think he's been great for the neighborhoods, but he also understands the importance of generating a tax base to generate the revenue to invest in schools.
Others voted for Mayor Walsh because of his connection to Boston's people.
He's out there, really public, and that's what I loved about Menino, too.
While congressmen to man's best friend turned out for their different candidates, similar issues united them.
Issues of race in Boston.
Police wearing their cameras on them.
Affordable housing, in addition to that, the opiate crisis that's going on today.
Mayor Marty Walsh and City Councilor Tito Jackson will face off one final time in November's election. On City Hall Plaza, I'm Kelly Mitchell, SU News.
Boston isn't the only place that had elections this week. Coming up, we'll look at student government elections at Suffolk. SU News will be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back. Suffolk University is breaking out the ballots.
It was election week on campus, all to fill a vacant spots for incoming freshman class. Hundreds of students gathered to vote for their new nominees. The swearing-in ceremony was held yesterday to congratulate all newly elected senators. 9 elected freshman senators, 1 sophomore, 2 juniors, and 2 seniors to hold their spots in SGA. All elected members are expected to be at all SGA meetings and will hold themselves to the standards of an elected student leader. Congratulations to all the new students in office. We are excited to see what you have to offer to the Suffolk community.
The Boston community trying to set a world record for the largest human peace sign. So did they make it in the record books? SU News reporter Cecilia Favela takes us into the event.
After long rehearsals and big efforts to gather the most amount of people, that day came for everyone to get together and do the human peace sign.
What do we want? Where do we want it?
Colors, dance, and culture were part of an event that made the Boston Common a place to celebrate peace. As part of the International Day of Peace, the Children's Services of Roxbury attempted to set a Guinness World Record of the largest human peace sign. People from all around Boston, including some elected officials, came together to be part of this moving event that some say is needed in today's society.
A world that you feel like everyone's a lot of negativity is a really positive experience at the end.
One by one, more than 1,000 people started to go through the entrances of the enormous sign. At the end, the final count of people in the peace sign was 3,300 people short to set the record. But even this didn't discourage anyone.
This is not how many people come together to create a sign. It's displayed every single day that you want to keep peace. So I know in the entire world we have more than 5,000 people actually displaying peace.
People really stopped and thought about what it meant to have peace of mind, and there's no measurement for what that's worth.
So although the record was not met, people were just enjoying the fact that they came together to celebrate peace, and they're not losing their hopes to get it next time. In Boston, Cecilia Favela, SU News.
Coming up next, sampling the best food in downtown Boston. SU News will be right back after this.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
And we're back. Everyone knows that Bostonians love their food, and this past weekend they got to experience gourmet cuisine from around the city.
SU News reporter Matt Brown went to the event and brings us the scoop.
I'm here in downtown Boston at the Taste of Downtown Crossing Food Festival, where restaurants from around the city are gathering to give their people their unique recipes and to celebrate diversity.
A celebration of diverse food, culture, and entertainment, the Taste of Downtown Crossing Food Festival turned Boston's Avenue de Lafayette into its very own street-side cafe this past Sunday. The event featured local musicians, a wine and beer tent, and culinary demonstrations, as well as over 20 local Boston restaurants offering their unique cuisines.
The house-made duck liver pate, served with hot pickled mushrooms, and a homemade crostini.
Among hundreds of other recipes, restaurants brought seafood, meats, veggies, and food from different cultures in the hope that those attending would be exposed to new and exciting restaurants.
I think downtown Boston has so much to offer, a lot more than people think. And so having an event like this where all these restaurants get to come out here and show off what they do is great for everybody.
It's important to showcase Boston food and what we're doing. And that what we're doing is a little different than what everyone else is doing. So
Boston natives and tourists alike came together to enjoy all the different dishes that the restaurants cooked up. And during live food demonstrations, different executive chefs showed their stuff. The feature presentation, a live butcher carving of a 125-pound pig.
The amount of diversity and culture that these restaurants bring to downtown is astounding. Even though there's 20-plus chefs, wine and beer selection, live music performances, and live food demonstrations, my favorite part of the event were the pastries. In Boston, Matt Brown, SU News.
That's going to do it for us this week. I'm Olivia LaDon.
And I'm Brandon Hyde. We'll see you next time on SU News.